हर गौरांगेर आरती शोभार जग जाने मनलो भार गौरांगेर आरती शोभार जग जाने जय निता गौर सुन जय निता गौर सुन निता गौर सुन जय निता गौर सुन जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद भक्ति वेदांत निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Bolo Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Bolo Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Bolo Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Gaura 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 Hari Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Hare Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hari Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hari Haraya Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghuna. O Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghuna. O Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radhe. Srila Prabhupada Pranadana hai. Srila Prabhupada Pranadana hai. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jai Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jai Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Premanande.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस सर्वप्रचार Social Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada की जय. ISKCON founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada की जय. नामा विष्णुपाद परमहंस सर्वप्रचार Social Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की. गौरव किशोर बाबूजी महाराज की. सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की. नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की. षट गोस्वामीज की. प्रेम से करो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की. गंगा माई यमुना माई की. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की. अयोध्यापुरी धाम मायापुर धाम जगन्नाथपुरी धाम रामेश्वर धाम द्वारका धाम की. their most beautiful Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar ki. The most merciful Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki. The most enchanting Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki. On this wonderful day of disappearance Shri Prabhupada ki. Jai. All Guru Symbol devotees. All Guru Symbol devotees. All Guru Symbol devotees. All Guru Shri Guru and Guranga.
दक्षः शीलातङ्कानखालये हितो न सिंह परतो न सिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो न सिंह बाहेन सिंह हृदयेन सिंह बाहेन सिंह हृदयेन सिंह बाहेन सिंह हृदयेन सिंह नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज भक्तराज प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्तराज शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
नमामीश्वरं सच्चित् आनन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चित् आनन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोधभियो लुखलाधवमाना पारमृष्टमात्यन्ततो धृत्य गोप्या रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मामृजान्तं करं भुजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रं रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मामृजान्त करं भुजयुग्मेन शातङ्कने मुहुश्रसकम्पत्रिरेकङ्ककण्ठ स्थिताग्रे वदामोदरं भक्तिपदं दामोदरं भक्तिपदम् इति दृक्सलीलाभिर् आनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषनिमाचन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयसिताकेषु भक्ते जितात्मा पुनः प्रेमातस्तं शतवृत्तिबन्धे नमामीश्वरं सचित् आनन्दरूपा लासत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् आनन्दरूपं लासत्कुण्डलं परं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वदीवा नाचन्यं ऋणहं वर्षदपि मोक्षं वदीवा इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबाला सदा मे मनस्य विरस्तं किनन्ये इदं ते मुखं भुजम् अत्यन्तनीलैर्वृतं कुण्टलैस्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्या अत्यन्तनीलैर्वृतं कुण्टलैस्निग्धम् मोहुश्चुमितां बिम्बरक्तधरां मे मनस्य विरस्तामलं लक्षलाभय नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलब्धिमग्नं नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख कृपा दृष्टिवृष्यति दीनं बतानो गृहाणि क्षमामग्नमेद्यक्षिदृश्यम् कुबेरात्मजौ बदमूर्त्यैव याद्वात् त्वया मोचितो भक्ति भाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय यथा विश्वस्य दाम्ने O Namo Radhikaya Twadhiya Priyaya. Namo Radhikaya Twadhiya Priyaya. Namo Radhikaya Twadhiya Priyaya. Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Namaste Studamne Spuradipti Damne Tvadiyodaraya Thavishwasya Damne. Namaste Studamne Spuradipti Damne Tvadiyodaraya. O Namo Radhikaya Twadhiya Priyaya. O Namo Radhikaya Twadhiya Priyaya. Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Namo Nantalilaya Devaya. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Nam. O Yashoda Bhiyo Lukaladavamanam. Yashoda Bhiyo Lukaladavamanam. Paramishramathyanta Tadritya Gopya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara. Oh Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jai Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe. O Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. O Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada. Tai Gura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Radha Damodar Ji ki.
Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone on this most auspicious day of disappearance of our Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Now curtains will be closed now. So what we want to do is everyone should be facing Shri Prabhupada. At 7:20 p.m. Prabhupada entered Nitya Leela. So we'll be singing a bhajan which was sang during that time, Prabhupada's time. Shri Rup Manjari Pada. You can see online. And then after that, we'll have Pushpanjali, and we are very grateful that Prabhupada disciple Anuttama Prabhu is here, so we're very grateful. So he'll be doing Aarti. Then after that, many devotees will be speaking some realization about Sri Prabhupada and everything.
Jai Radha Madhav Ji ki, Nitai Gaur Sundar Bhagavan ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Devi ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure. They are the sole object of my bhajan and worship. Her lotus feet are the wealth of my life. They are the ornament of my life, and indeed the very life of my life. Her lotus feet are the treasure house of Ras, the attainment of my desires, and the conclusion of all Vedas. Her lotus feet are the goal of my vows and austerities, the object of my recitation of mantra, and the purpose of all my religious activities. When providence becomes favorable, I shall attain Sri Rupa Manjari's lotus feet and behold them with these two eyes. The abundant, sweet beauty of Sri Rupa Manjari's lotus feet will shine like the moon upon the blue lotus of my heart, causing it to blossom in jubilation both day and night. Your absence from my vision is like a snake that has corroded my body with poison. The remaining days of my life will pass in the burning fire of separation. Alas, O Sri Rupa Goswami, be merciful and give me the shade of your lotus feet. There, Narottam is taking shelter. At the time when Prabhupada was entering Nitya Leela, on November 14th, 1977, Prabhupada had requested his very dear friend to sing this song. Every day when Prabhupada would spend years in Radha Damodar Mandir in his room, where today he says, I am currently present and I'm eternally present. Every day he would never fail to sing this bhajan. Why? Because he is one of the topmost Rupa Nugas. He's the topmost follower of Rupa Goswami. Our Prabhupada is so special that for so many long years, he prayed to his Guru Maharaj, he prayed to Rupa Goswami, he prayed to Raghunath Das Goswami, he prayed to Mahaprabhu. He prayed for everybody that he may be able to come to this country and to be able to preach to all of us. Just think, nobody in this country knew about Krishna. Everybody ate meat. Everybody ate cows. And how he was living. He came, but he came because he had such Guru Nishtha. Because he had such firm faith in his Gurudev, he came here and he preached, and for 12 years he preached this Maha Mantra. He preached Mahaprabhu's mission, just as Bhaktivinoda Thakur prophesied. So therefore, at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet today, we are singing this song, offering it to him, offering it to the entire Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. So I request everybody to please pull up Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mora Sampada on your phones. Hare Krishna. Ogo Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mor Sampada. Manjari Pada, Sei Mor Sampada. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mor Sampada. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mor Sei Mor Bhajana Pujana, Sei Mor Bhajana Pujana, Sei Mor Bhajana Pujana, Sei Mor Bhajana Pujana, Sei Mor Pranadhana, Sei Mor Abharana, Sei Mor Pranadhana, Sei Mor Abharana, Sei Mor Jivanere Jivana, Sei Mor Jivanere Jivana, Jivanere Jivana, Sei Mor Jivane Jivana, Sei Mor Rasanidhi, Sei Mor Vancha Siddhi, Sei Mor Rasanidhi, Sei Mor Vancha Siddhi, Sei Mor Vedera Dharma, Sei Mor Vedera Dharma, Sei Mor Vrata Sei Tapa, Sei Mor Mantra Japa, Sei Vrata Sei Tapa, Sei Mor Mantra Japa, Sei Mor Dharma Ka Rama, Sei Mor Dharma Karama, Sei Mor Dharma Karama, अनुकूल हबे विधि से पदे হইবে সিধি अनुकूल হবে আর নিরাখিব এই দুই নয়নে রাখিব সে রূপ মাধুরী রাশি প্রাণ কুবলয় শশী সে রূপ মাধুরী প্রফুল্লিত হবে নিশি দিনে প্রভু তুই আয়া দর্শন আহি গরলে জরালো দেহি তুই আয়া দর্শন আহি গরলে জরালো দেহি চিরদিন তপিত জীবনা চিরদিন তপিত জীবনা চিরদিন তপিত চিরদিন হা হা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া হা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া হা হা রূপ কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া আহা রূপ কর দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া নরতম লইল শরণ নরতম লইল শরণ নরতম লইল শরণ প্রভু হে প্রভু হে প্রভু হে প্রভু হে হে প্রভু জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ अरे कृपा करो मोरे दया करो कृपा करो मोरे दया करो कृपा करो मोरे दया करो जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगत निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Krishna. So after this prayer, now we'll have everybody stand up. We'll have Pushpanjali. We'll be offered Pushpanjali. And then after that, we'll do Aarti. So for Pushpanjali, we're not going to have you repeat because of time. So I'll be speaking, and those who remember the mantra, they can just go with the flow. This way we can be done early. So can somebody pick up the flowers and give to everybody, please? Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Dhananjaya Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha
Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shita Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam
Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyadeshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashvanvi Devi Daite Kripabdaya Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama Madhurya Ujjwala Premadaya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhakti Da Shri Gaur Karuna Shakti Vigrahe Namastute Namaste Gaurvani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupa Nuga Vruddhapa Siddhanta Dhvanta Harine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murte Vipralamba Rasambhode Padambujaite Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidana Namine Gaur Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varaite Gaura Avirbhaves Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjan Priya Vaishnav Sarvum Shri Jagannathayate Nama Vancha Kaltarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnave Namo Nama Namo Mavandanaya Krishna Prem Padayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuse Nama Panchtattvakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopiyakanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jai Tapt Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamai Hari Priye Jaitam Surto Pango Mandir Mater Gati Matsarvasya Padamoja Radha Madan Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalptrumada Srimad Ratnagar Sinhasanstau Srimad Radha Krishna Govinda Deva Preshta Abhisevyamani Smarami Shriman Ras Rasarambi Vanshivat Tatastita Karshan Venu Suner Gopi Gopinatha Shriyastranama Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamai Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So now we'll be chanting Shri Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra 3 times. After each Pranam, please throw flowers there. And then after paying obeisance, we'll do second time again. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyadeshatarine Esha Pushpanjali Ani Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine Esha Pushpanjali. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyadeshatarine Esha Pushpanjali Ki Jai.
Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Agar Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma. Arabandamoi Shabadana Mate Arabandamoi Shabadana Mate Banda Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhava Toriya Jai Jahara Prasade Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Krishna Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Te Ko Riya Kya Arna Ko Riho Mone Asha Arana Koryo Mone Asha Arana Koryo Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Jai Prasare Pure Asa आशा जय प्रसाद जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसादे ओ चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे गुरु से चक्षुदान आर दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित मन रे दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित होगा प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते होगा प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते अवेद गाय जहाँ चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अदम जनाद बंधु लोकना लोकेर जीवन आहा प्रभु कर दया रे हो मोरे पद छाया हे बेजास कुशुक त्रिभुवन हा हा प्रभु करो दया ते मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया प्रभुपादेर करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया प्रभुपाद हे बेजास कुशुक त्रिभुवन श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावन श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावन ओ जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जगत गुरु जय प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Oh Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Oh Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Oh Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Oh Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Oh Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Oh Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripajakacarya Astu Tarasata Shri Shri Mahari Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripajakacarya Astu Tarasata Shri Shri Mahari Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anandi Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Haribo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Guranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Krishna
Hare Krishna. So now we'll have small glorification for Prabhupada, 15-20 minutes. There's some senior Vaishnavas who will give some beautiful realization. Then after that, around 8:20 or so, we'll have prasadam for that. So first of all, very grateful and honored that on this Disappearance Sri Prabhupada, one of Prabhupada's dear disciples, Anuttama Prabhu is here. So thank you, Prabhuji, for coming here. So we'd like to have you share some realization from your side, Prabhuji. Can you bring something? Bring a chair.
Namayam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shmate Bhaktivedanta Swamanitanamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Navashesha Sanyavadi Paschachadi Satarane. So I only have a few minutes and I have hours and hours of information, but I'll condense it. So Prabhupada always said, yeah, short, I know. Don't worry, it won't be hours. Prabhupada always said that people come to me, especially in India, and say, Swamiji, you have done a miracle. This is a miracle that you have spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world. No one else has done this, made Western men and ladies, boys and girls, devotees of Krishna. And Prabhupada would say, he said, I don't do miracles. I cannot do any miracle. He said, the miracle is all Krishna's, that I am just speaking what Krishna says. I have not changed anything. Prabhupada would always say that. Krishna says, surrender to me, and I tell people, surrender to Krishna. And that's my miracle. We were on stage with Prabhupada once in Hyderabad. So the man came up, Prabhupada gave the lecture. We were there for a two-night Pandal program in springtime. We were for the Mayapur festival, and then we went to Hyderabad with Prabhupada. Maybe 150 of us. Half went to Vrindavan, half went to Hyderabad. So two-night program with Prabhupada. They had a stage, they had the lights, nighttime Pandal program. So Prabhupada would give the lecture. We're all sitting on right and left side of Prabhupada, all 100, 75 on one side, 75 on the other. And then they asked for questions. A man came up and said, Swamiji, can you do a miracle? Because in India, everybody loves miracles. So many babas and so many sadhus, they can do something, make something out of nothing. And Prabhupada said, he looked to his right and he looked to his left, and he said, this is my miracle, that these boys and girls have become Krishna conscious. He said, only a few years ago they had never heard of Krishna. I never heard of Krishna growing up. It wasn't in my culture. I would go to church when I was young, but I didn't know Krishna. So, and then I met Prabhupada. First I met the devotees, of course, because that's generally how it is. We meet the devotees, and then we hear, the devotees would all be talking about Prabhupada. And I'm like, who is this Prabhupada? Prabhupada, everything's Prabhupada. And they explain, Prabhupada's the pure devotee. The devotees would say, we're not pure devotees, we're just, we're just students, we're just learning. But Prabhupada, he is the pure devotee. He came from India and is spreading, he has pure love for Krishna. And in this way, I was intrigued. I was saying, who is Prabhupada? Then I finally got to meet Prabhupada in New York at our Brooklyn temple in 1971. I was only 17, and we all drove up to see Prabhupada. He had been in India for 1 year, And we all drove up to see Prabhupada. And I remember him walking in the temple room to give the morning class. And the room was packed because devotees had come from Philadelphia, Boston, Buffalo, everywhere. So there was hundreds and hundreds of extra people in the room. And the temple room really wasn't any bigger than this room, about the same size. And Prabhupada came in, and everyone paid obeisances. It was just magical to see. We all would have loved to have met a pure devotee. Like in my background, if I got the chance to meet Jesus Christ, that would have been a miracle. But I didn't meet Jesus, but I met Prabhupada. So, and we would say amongst ourselves, because most of our devotees were, Westerners. We were either Christian or Jewish, and we would say, Prabhupada is our Jesus. He has come to save us. And so we would feel like that we get to meet Prabhupada, and everything he did was without material motivation. This is what bhakti is. He would say, we would quote Rupa Goswami, Anya bilasata sunyam jnanakama vadavritam anakulena krishnanushilinam bhaktir uttamam. The best, the uttama bhakti is without desires, free from karma and jnana, speculation. Only unmotivated, ahoituki, pratyata, no motivation. We're not working for Krishna because it's a job. I have some job, I go to work, like we all have jobs. We work for Krishna out of love, because we want to please the spiritual master and we want to please Krishna. So it's said that one who has implicit faith in both the spiritual master and in Bhagwan and in Krishna, everything is revealed to him. One time, one man asked Prabhupada, he said, so can we have devotion to God without the guru? Without a guru, some people don't have gurus. Do I really need a guru? Prabhupada says, not possible. It is not possible. You have to have guru. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that too. Krishna says, tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena seveya. That you have to approach that person who has seen the truth. And we all say that common prayer, Om Jnana Timirantasya. Jnananjanan Salakaya Chaksu Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. He's opened our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So that is the guru. The guru can open our eyes. He can enlighten us. So even though back in the 70s when I was first coming to the temple, everybody was a Prabhupada disciple or aspiring, and now I'm the only one sitting here who's actually initiated by Prabhupada, but you were all here because Prabhupada said, I will never die. One reporter asked Prabhupada, what will happen, when you die with the movement? Prabhupada said, I will never die. He said, I will live in my books. That's why I'm writing these books. I am giving all this, everything I know, I am giving you in these books. So he would ask us to read every day. Read 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever you can do. Read something every day. Personally, that's what I've been doing for 50 years. every day I read something. Of course, we chant our rounds, and we also busy. We have our lives. We have duties, material duties go on. We're not, sitting in Vrindavan just reading all day. But Prabhupada asked us to read. So Bhagavatam every morning, Bhagavad Gita in the evening, like this. So today is the disappearance of Prabhupada. And I can remember the moment, the day, the weeks before Prabhupada left, the anxiety that the whole movement was in. You wouldn't know what it was like unless you were there. For months, Prabhupada was sick. We're hearing reports he's in Vrindavan. We're hearing some report. There's phone calls coming into the temple president. I was in the Manhattan temple at the time on 55th Street. And, they would say Prabhupada's getting a little better, Prabhupada's getting a little, it was like every day it was just this way, that way. He's coming, he's staying. He said he was going to stay. He ate some fruit. And then again, something. And, the astrologer, they would talk to the Ayurvedic doctor and the astrologer. The astrologer said he should drink milk from a black cow. So they got a black cow and milking the black. So whatever we could do, and it was just torture for us. And we were having 24-hour kirtan because we didn't know, what was going to happen. And nobody thought beyond that. How will the movement go on after? Nobody thought, that wasn't our thoughts. We're just, our spiritual master, our guide, our life is leaving us, and what are we going to do? And I was in Trinidad, West Indies. We were doing preaching with another devotee friend of mine, Gaja Hunter, and we got the phone call that Prabhupada had left, and I was just doing a class that evening, a public lecture, and it was, it's just, anyway, it was, you would have had to be there to be part of that to have the full experience. We all have experience of relatives dying, parents die, grandparents die. We all feel very sad. But when the spiritual master leaves us, we are really bereft. But then we take shelter in his instructions. So it's not that we should stop and, we're not finished. Life, we go on. Because the spiritual, Prabhupada said, I'll never die. The spiritual master is always there. If he's not physically present, there's the Vani and the Vapu. The Vani is the instructions and the Vapu is the physical form. So we don't always have the physical form of the spiritual master, but we always have his instructions. So we can always read Prabhupada's instructions, read his conversations, volumes and volumes of books. Prabhupada said, this is my mission, to translate Srimad Bhagavatam into English. That was his mission. He started it in the early 60s. He published the 3 volumes and he brought those with him to America. And we all know, of course, the story of Prabhupada coming and starting with nothing. I just read recently, Prabhupada was staying with that Dr. Mishra, who had an ashram in New York. And he said, I would go and cook for Dr. Mishra every day because, Dr. Mishra was providing free room and board, so Prabhupada felt obliged to reciprocate. So I would cook a meal for him. I would cook, like lunch. And he said, we would sit and have lunch. He said, then I would just go out on Fifth Avenue, just loitering. He said, I was just loitering on Fifth Avenue, just studying the people, the American people, seeing what they do and what their habits are. And this went on for some time. And then gradually they rented the Second Avenue place. Some students came, and the movement started. It was a miracle. And those students went out and opened up more students, more centers. And in this way, the mission, Prabhupada said, you go here, you go there, you go. He just said, we had no background, no training. Just go out and preach Krishna consciousness. And that's how the movement spread. So I thank you for inviting me, and happy to be here with all of you. Hare Krishna.
Request Kirtan will say something, please.
Something, please. So many emotions that fill my heart when I think of Srila Prabhupada that it's very difficult to even express that. But Srila Prabhupada is always alive with us. And there's a force, there's a power. Srila Prabhupada has a force. Due to his purity, there's a force. And that force, everyone is entitled to imbibe. If you just simply follow his instructions, read his books, associate with devotees, and chant the holy name. This is such a beautiful program, and it's a wonderful process. This is what Prabhupada has given us. And we should realize that since we are humans, now is the time to act like that. With all sincerity and all strength that you can muster up, just try every day is a new day to serve Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is always there with us. He's always with us. And he's always manifesting his potency. Look at this temple. Look at everything around us that Prabhupada is still doing. So, my dear devotees, I humbly request that we all just stick together and do our best to study Srila Prabhupada's books so that we can really make some sense of everything that he's given us and be able to share it with everyone that we can. You know, there's no way to make advancement without the mercy of the spiritual master. So this is a science, and understanding the spiritual energy that can be given to us in our spiritual desires, it can manifest. So my dear devotees, let's just keep trying and chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My name's Govardhandas Vanachari. And my greatest regret in life is that I arrived too late to see Srila Prabhupada. So I arrived at Bhaktivedanta Manor in January of 1980, which was about 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks, possibly 2 days after Srila Prabhupada left the planet. However, Srila Prabhupada's presence was still very, very strong. So I surrendered to the movement and Srila Prabhupada. I arrived at the manor, I was 17 years old, and I got into the guest program and the Bhakti program. And I was there for 3 days. Every day I would go into the temple room and I saw the murti of Srila Prabhupada. And I thought, wow, he's really in a deep trance. You know, I didn't know that Srila Prabhupada had left the planet. And I thought that it was really Srila Prabhupada. After 3 days, I realized this was Murti. I was okay. And so I surrendered to Prabhupada, and then I went so many years, book distribution and all of those things. And about 30 years ago, I had a dream where I was walking down a beach, and there was a beautiful ocean, and there was one nice white marble temple, and I knew Prabhupada was talking. And I wanted to swim in the ocean because it's very inviting. I also wanted to hear from Prabhupada. So in the end, I thought I will go paddling in the ocean just up to my ankles, then I will go hear Prabhupada. So I went over and I paddled in the ocean, walked across the beach. By the time I got to this small temple, my feet were covered with sand up to my ankles, and I thought, I can't go in the temple. I'm going to drop sand everywhere. So I listened to Prabhupada from the door. And that was my closest direct interaction. I don't remember anything he said, but I remember hearing through the door. And then, so I had lived in New Vrindavan for 11 years and then moved to Maryland. And so in and out a little bit like that, working like everybody else, you know, working very hard, getting up early. My sadhana got weak, you know, very weak, not very strong. And then 2020, I got very, very ill. And I thought I can die. You know, it was like that, very critical. I could die now. So immediately I found my phone. I put on a loop, Krishna Meditations. You know, that very nice album, Srila Prabhupada singing so beautifully. And I thought, if I'm going to die, my wife was like, I'll take you to the hospital. I'm, no, don't take me to the hospital. If I'm going to die, I want to die here, hearing Prabhupada, and not to listen to some machines and people panicking. So anyway, I survived, obviously. And then I found the Prabhupada Vani. I would strongly recommend everybody to find this website, Prabhupada Vani. Yes, .org, prabhupadvani.org. And if you give your email, every morning in your inbox will be a new lecture. Every day, Srila Prabhupada lecture comes 3 a.m. So after I recovered a little bit, I started to play every day. Boom, listen to Prabhupada. And this was a life-changing experience for me, especially 2020. So many things were very confusing. The whole world, everything, nobody knows what to believe anymore. False, fake news, all of that, you know. But I found Prabhupada was like this reliable truth in the midst of a swirling misinformation. So I was listening every day. And then in February, I was laying in my bed, and Prabhupada was standing next to my bed. I'm not going to tell you the details of what transpired, but I realized that Srila Prabhupada was still acting in this world. And I wanted to share that because For everybody who never got to see Srila Prabhupada personally, Prabhupada will participate in our lives directly if we surrender to him. It's not that, oh, we missed him, he's gone. Prabhupada is still acting, and I was listening to Shivaram Swami Maharaj, who's my spiritual master, and he was talking about how many devotees had very strong visitation or dream Prabhupada. That Prabhupada is still acting in this world. Prabhupada is still pushing this movement. But we know also that Prabhupada is also Nitya Leela in the spiritual world. I'm going to ask Sundarananda Prabhu to try to figure that out for me, how it's possible that Srila Prabhupada is here and also there. You're going to have to explain that to me. But I just wanted to share that for those of us that never personally met Srila Prabhupada, you can meet Srila Prabhupada. Is possible if we can surrender. And that's my feeling about that. And Jai Srila Prabhupada.
And Mataji would like to say?
Hare Krishna. I just want to say, to piggyback on Prabhu's, his last statement, even though many of us have not met Srila Prabhupada, we can associate with Srila Prabhupada through his books. His books are very important, and Prabhupada will live on through his books. So if we read his books every day, listen to his lectures, because after all, Prabhupada said the Vani is more important than Vapu. So serving in separations, that's one of the highest form of love. And Prabhupada will reveal himself to us. So I just want to focus. Prabhupada had many beautiful qualities. And one of his qualities that I felt very moving, Prabhupada was so humble and he was so grateful to his devotees and his disciples. I just want to read some quotes that I've been reading. I've been studying Prabhupada's books since I've retired. I've been studying his books really in depth recently, and I came across some analysis of Srila Prabhupada's qualities, and so many of it just so beautiful, and they stayed with me, and I made some notes. One that I found, I just want to focus on the one today, and Prabhupada's humility and humble. Srila Prabhupada's humility is expressed in the following excerpts from letters to his disciples. This is Prabhupada. I hope you all pray to Krishna so I may be able to execute my duty properly. And this is from a letter, 28 June 1967. And this is from another letter. Actually, I'm dependent on your mercy. Prabhupada's writing to his disciples. Okay? You cannot survive without my mercy, and I cannot survive without your mercy. It is reciprocal. This mutual dependence is based on love, Krishna consciousness. This is from a letter dated 22nd January 1976. Although officially I'm your spiritual master, I consider you all students as my spiritual master, because your love for Krishna and service for Krishna teach me how to become a sincere Krishna conscious person. This was just so much humility and so humble, right? I mean, Prabhupada is saying that to his disciples and to the devotees, that you are teaching me to become a sincere Krishna conscious person, and we know that Prabhupada is Nitya Siddha, is eternally liberated, and we are just jivas in this material world trying to get back to Krishna. And this is from a letter 16 December 1967. On behalf of Krishna, I'm accepting your sincere service, but on the whole, I'm servant of the servant of Krishna. Therefore, I may be in designation your spiritual master, but actually, I am servant of the servant of Krishna. And because you're all sincere servants of Krishna, I am your servant. This is also a letter from Srila Prabhupada. So, one more I'm going to read, and so Prabhupada says, so I was just thinking, Srila Prabhupada is a Nitya Siddha, right? He's eternally liberated devotee. In one sense, there's no need for him to accept a spiritual master, but he did accept a spiritual master. He showed us how we should approach Krishna, right? So he presents himself as a conditioned soul, but Prabhupada is not a conditioned soul. It's just his humility and to teach us. So if we look at Prabhupada's life, it was all about teaching us how to approach Krishna and how to bring us back to Krishna's lotus feet. So in order to serve Krishna, to serve Prabhupada, and to make sure that we go back to Krishna, because this is what Prabhupada came here for. He left his beloved Vrindavan. He didn't have to leave Vrindavan. He came here to bring us back to the lotus feet of Krishna. We shouldn't just be sentimental followers, but we should always make it our duty to study Srila Prabhupada's books, to love his devotees and become the servant of his servant also. And today is the day we should be thinking about this every day, but today is the day for reflection and to just reflect and see how we can dedicate our lives to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this concludes our program. We take darshan deities and then prasadam will be served downstairs. So thank you so much all coming. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
You want to sing, Prabhu? Okay, I will try maybe. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Saraswati Devi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe, Madhava Radha, Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramaya, Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadram, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramaya, Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadram, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripajakacarya Sutara Sata Sri Srimati Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripajakacarya Sutara Sata Sri Srimati His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anandi Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Doti Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakti Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.